Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here playing some more Warhammer combat cards, and in this video I am going to take a look at my collection and look at all of the cards I do not own. So, I have all of the warlords, but there are a number of bodyguards that are in the general pool, but I don't have, mainly because you had to purchase them with real money. You can look at all of them easily in your collection by filtering them according to cost. If you go from highest to lowest, you can see everything shows up at the top. All these grayed out cards are ones I don't own. So yeah, let's just go ahead and take a look. And this is as of February of 2023. So starting at the top, we've got the new Lords of War units. These are pretty cool. We got the big Orc Stampa. So this one is a legendary with Big Game Hunter and Barrage, and both at ranged and melee attack. It's quite strong. 115 points means it's going to take up more than half of your deck. But yeah, again, a lot of these are going to be legendaries, which are very difficult to obtain copies of. So basically, I mean, it's not going to be very useful unless you upgrade it. So you're basically forced to, spend a whole lot of money in order to use them right off the bat. And that's why I just didn't bother buying any of them. But next up, we've got the Harridan. So this is the big Tyrannid one. It's 95 points. It's got Fear and Outflank. Fear is, of course, very good on a card with this much health, and it gets quite strong at the later levels. It's very difficult to take out when playing against it in some of those special campaigns. So yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. Next up, we've got the Regal Dorn Battle Tank. So a new vehicle for the Astra Militarum. So this one is basically like a stronger version of the Basilisk. It's got a powerful ranged attack with Barrage, and as an epic at level 9 it unlocks the secondary trait, which is Precision Shot. So it'll be Precision Barrage. Definitely a strong one. It'd be fun to use with Yarick. But I mean, they already have the Lehman Russ and Basilisk, so I mean, those are fine. We've got, for the Leagues of Votan, the Land Fortress. Pretty cool looking model. This one's got Shield and Big Game Hunter. Not really the most useful one. I mean, it's very expensive. So, yeah. I mean, it's cool, but as with a lot of these legendaries, you really don't need it. We've got the Knight Moirax, the Scythe of Mars. This one has a regeneration, tons of health. And as an epic, it gets Big Game Hunter eventually. This one I also remember being just very difficult to take down when playing against it in the campaign. But even if I owned it, I don't think I'd really use it because of its relatively low attack stats. We've got the Wraith Lord with heavy weaponry. This one is kind of a less tanky but stronger version of the Wraith Lord. So it starts off the Big Game Hunter and eventually gets Barrage. So, I mean, this one could be pretty cool, but again, as an epic, good luck upgrading that thing. Moving on, we've got the Redeemer of the Lost. So this is actually one of the best cards that I don't own. I've seen a lot of players use this one. He's got Furious Charge and Fear, and he does insane amounts of damage. Like, once he hits level 6, it's just crazy. And he combos really well with Helbrecht and Logan Grimnar. So I do kind of wish I had him. I think there was a battle pass maybe that had him as a reward, which I did not purchase. Kind of regret that, but yeah. So that's actually a really good card. We've got Samael. Not sure how you say his name. Grandmaster of the Ravenwing. This guy is an epic who starts off the scout and gets outflank. Not the most useful. Same with the Triumph from St. Catherine. Pretty cool model, but it has horrible attack stats. It's just a really tanky thing that it avoids being the target of Big Game Hunters at 39 points, but it's really not necessary because Servants of the Emperor have plenty of Inspiring Presence already. And yeah, just kind of a useless card. The Broodlord is pretty cool for Tyranids. For the longest time, Tyranids only had a single bodyguard with Furious Charge, and now they have a few more. Some of them are ones with dual traits. This is basically a bodyguard version of Gosar, stats-wise anyway. Melee Psychers are kind of weird because they're pretty good against Psychic decks or melee decks, but not very good against ranged decks. So, I mean, it's just okay. And then we've got Baharoth, Phoenix Lord of the Swooping Hawks. This guy is kind of a glass cannon, fairly low health for the cost, but he does hit pretty hard. Strong melee attack and decent ranged attack. And we've got the bodyguard version of the Grimnir. It's kind of just a weaker version of Tigurius for the Leagues of Votann. Shield and Warp Surge are her traits. Alright, we got a few rare cards, or cards of less rarity, mixed in here. The Sidonian Dragoon of the Adeptus Mechanicus. This thing has Scout, not really the most useful card. Cypher has a really strong ranged attack if you want to go ranged with Chaos. And he's got Outflank and Target Acquired. It's not really the most useful set of traits, but yeah, the higher levels he does kind of a surprising amount of damage. We've got Chaplain Grimaldus. Now this guy is actually pretty useful, I think, with Fear and Inspiring Presence. So he's, yeah, he's pretty tanky, difficult to kill. Space Marines have plenty of Fear already, of course, but I mean, he's an okay card. Tau, on the other hand, they didn't really have many good bodyguards with Inspiring Presence, or at least ones that could actually deal any damage. But since introducing the secondary traits there, I think Longstrike now has Inspiring Presence, and several of the Warlords as well. This guy is actually pretty useful, though. I mean, he does damage, he's got solid stats, he's got Scout in addition to Inspiring Presence, so actually a pretty good card for the Tau. This guy, the Iron Master, so it's a rare card, and this is actually a pretty useful one as well. So he's got pretty good attack stats, which is rare for a Medicae card. Most of them have very low attack, but he's kind of a bruiser who can also heal, so useful card there. The Blue Scribes. This is a good one. Definitely good if you want to go Psychic Chaos with Ahriman, because a lot of those Psychers are quite squishy, but this one is very tanky. It can hold down a lane with the shields, and it deals decent damage, and it's very low cost bodyguard as well. And then we're getting to some of the... So they released a bunch of like Votann and also Chaos, like cultists at the same time. So most of these down here are those guys. So we've got this cultist with Berserk, and what else we have? Thunderkin with Big Game Hunter. The Demagogue, this one kept showing up in my last campaign, and this is actually a quite good card. 14 points for Inspiring Presence. It's got a powerful melee attack, and then at level 9 it unlocks Shield, so yeah, that's a solid card there. Pretty cool model. This is a prime example of power creep. It's very strong at 14 points. It has like ridiculously strong attack stats, and regeneration, and then it eventually unlocks Barrage. Yeah, so that's quite good. The Iron Priest is not very useful, just as Big Game Hunter. Doesn't really stand out. The Mind Witch, this thing has regeneration, and it's a Psyker. The Apprentice is another useful Necron card, though. This one has Scout, so it combos well with like Imhotep, and it's pretty cheap as well, so easy to fit into your deck. The Faceless Blade, this is one I do wish I had. This cultist has Death Blow, and it hits really hard, so it would be really nice in like a Skull Taker deck. This Sergeant with a Furious Charge, and he eventually gets Inspiring Presence. He's okay, I mean, not really necessary, but... And then we got the Sharpshooter. This one's pretty good. It's got Precision Shot, and he deals a solid amount of damage for 8 points, so, I mean, it combos quite well with Warlords like Yarick or Creed. Getting close to the end, and this is... Inspiring Presence, very cheap, not really that useful. And even less useful, Regenerating Mutant. And then finally we have this Chaos Cultist with Endless. This one is actually pretty useful if you want to throw it in with Glog, or it's only 4 points, so yeah, that one's all right. And we have reached the end. So those are all the cards that I currently do not own. In addition to those, I guess there are a few limited edition cards like the Red Gobbo, which do not show up in the general pool, so you can't. There's no way of getting them. So I don't own those cards either. There's one more in the shop I just forgot about. This is the newest one. Utorian Danash. Death Watchmaster. He's got target acquired and inspiring presence. So pretty useless card, basically. So yeah, that is it. And yeah, so basically all the cards that we just looked at in the collection show up like this. So you have to purchase them for a lot of money, and you only get like this guy. You get one copy for 20 bucks. So if you want to upgrade him at all, you have to spend an absurd amount of money, and he's not even very good. So that's the case with a lot of these new cards that appear in the game. It's just simply not worth buying. But yeah, that's it. Let me know if there are any cards in here that you think are worth buying. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.